You know when it's the hardest to film? He's right there. I just had to yell at him. This is it right here. I need to be excited and happy, which I was just 10 minutes ago. They're only little for such a short time. I need to remember that. Welcome to another card video. I have some things. We're gonna make a light up card today, and I have a free SVG file. That was my computer. I'm sorry. So I've always wanted to make like a Tangled inspired card, okay? A light up Tangled inspired card. And there are different ways that you could go about doing it, but this one is what I came up with. I started with an idea of a lantern shape, which you can get this SVG, all the SVG files on my blog post over at korenwiskman.com. You can find a link in the description box, but it will give you what I designed on Silhouette Studio. It's a lantern shape, and this first one, there's 2 stencils and then just 3 shapes, which you can manipulate them in Silhouette Studio. You can manipulate them in Silhouette Studio or whichever program you use with your SVG files with cutting machines. If you are unfamiliar with SVG files, they are cut files. So this will cut this lantern shape out from the piece of stencil material or whatever you're using, vellum, you can use cardstock, whatever, or you can cut the lantern shape out, which is what I did. I gave the card already to my daughter because I wanted to have it done for her birthday, which was just a couple days ago, so I don't have it tangibly in my hands, but I will give you like a little, I took a picture, kind of. But that's what I have to show you, and then we're going to recreate the card here today. And there's like a technique to it, because typically when I'm sorry, there's just notifications everywhere distracting me. Reel it in. Reel it in. Typically when I make a light up card, I don't want to think about it too much, you know? I just kind of want it to be easy, right? And Pear Blossom Press Easy Lights make it so easy. Just stop talking to me. Well, typically when you have a card stock and a light and you put them over top of each other, you only really see the lights on, you know, where they are placed. And these halo lights are fabulous. There's 4 really bright LED lights here, right? So I want to concentrate these lights, okay? And this is what I came up with. I don't know if anyone else does this. If someone else has done this, I'm sorry, I haven't seen the video. So I just don't know. I'm uneducated, and that's a terrible way to be. But I'm gonna foil the back of my card panel with this MINC. This is just MINC white foil, which you can use it for all kinds of things. I'm gonna use it to concentrate my light, and then I'm gonna poke holes in my card front, specifically where these lanterns are, so that when you hit the sentiment for my card, it will light up on the lanterns, and only where the lanterns are, but all these different spots. So that's what I'm going to do today for you, to show you. And I'm sorry if someone else has already shown you this. That's just what I'm doing. That's how I made the card. Let's get started. To foil, okay, what I'm going to use is this Deco foil toner sheets by Thermoweb. They're just simply black toner sheets of paper. I'm going to foil them with the white foil and then adhere it to the back of my ink blended panel that we're going to create. Okay, so my card panels typically measure 3.5 by 4 3/4. We're going to start with that size panel. I like the buildup of ink on the side, you know, that it does, instead of cutting that off afterwards. I kind of like that. So I like to cut my card fronts whatever size they're going to be. 3.5 by 4 3/4. Today I am using the Ranger ink blending tools to blend on some Distress Oxide ink. I'm starting with Stampin' Up's Rich Razzleberry cardstock and Wilted Violet. I'm going heavy with the Wilted Violet around the outside, just trying to just add some interest and create like a landscape scene for my lanterns, like an interesting sky, okay? So once I get the Wilted Violet on, I'm going in with, oh, I forget this color, Dusty Concord. Yeah, I do have a list right next to me. So I'm adding the lighter, kind of a little bit brighter purple shade to the outside, and then I went in with black soot to darken it. Really, I'm just playing around. I'm just adding these colors, trying to see what kind of things I can create. Give it some drama and some interest. That's it. I'm just going back and forth trying to blend them together, making sure there's no harsh lines, there's no circles that those ink blending tools love to keep. One of the free SVG files that you'll find on my website will give you these two stencils. These are 3.5 by 4 3/4 in size, but you can manipulate them in any way you want. You can do both sides. You can make a crap ton of lanterns by ink blending both sides, okay? The first time I made this card, I did the lanterns coming from the left side of the card, and now I'm flipping it over and making the lanterns go from the right side of the card. It's whatever your preference is. I'm using some makeup brushes and some iCrafter blender brushes to just coat this sucker with Wild Honey Distress Oxide ink. That's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to put as much ink in these little shapes as possible, and I can lift it up and check to see how it's doing, and it looks good. So now I'm trying to brighten up the bottom of the lanterns with a little bit lighter. This is Scattered Straw, and I'm just concentrating that towards the bottom of each lantern. I also used a little bit of shaded lilac towards the top of the lanterns just to make them blend in with that purpley background a little bit more. Once you're done adding all the shading and the inking, replace the first stencil with the second stencil. This only has 3 small lantern shapes, but you can manipulate them if you want. And then I just went Scattered Straw all the way to make bright lanterns. I'm going to smother this in shimmer sprays and some gold watercolor. So I'm not sure if the lanterns will be as defined after that. They're going to get blurred once they get moistened. You may like that effect, you may not. You could totally stop here. This looks really fun. But I'm going to make it shimmer and shine with some shimmer spritzes, and then we're going to light it up, and we need a sentiment too. I've made the executive decision to poke the holes prior to using the shimmer sprays. I think that's going to work out better all around. I'm sure that's what I did last time. So prior to poking the holes, you really want to put the foil on the back, and I forgot to do that step. So let's do that now. This is just that ThermaWeb toner foil. You could also print out a square in the size that you need on your toner printer to get the toner, and then I foiled it, ran it through the laminator with white MINC foil, and then I'm adhering the tape close to the edge so that it doesn't kind of pop up on the edge. I need more tape. And then we're gonna adhere it to the back of this ink blended panel that we put our lanterns on. And you really should do that before you poke the holes. I didn't. I'm gonna need to re-poke the holes. The purpose of the foil is to block out the light. This foil is going to prevent any light from getting through except for where I want it to get through. And that's where these holes come in. You can widen the holes, make the holes bigger. You could use dies to create these holes. I just simply poked them with my piercing tool. Then I cut out some additional lantern shapes using a different SVG file that's also on my website, same shape. And I'm adding a little bit of ink to give them some definition, and then shimmer spritz. This card is going to be a happy birthday card since it was for my daughter's birthday. I'm going to use a word die from MFT and then a stamp that's from MFT, kind of on the landscape portion of the card or the shadow portion, whatever, however you want to look at it. And then we can put the lights in. I believe this happy word die and both the birthday sentiment stamp that I used are both retired, but it really doesn't matter. Use any word die, happy die that you might have in your stash. And who doesn't have some stamp that says birthday? I mean, these are going to be in our stash in multiples, I'm sure. So it really doesn't matter that this one isn't available. I'm shading the bottom to kind of match and go and coordinate with the lanterns. These awesome landscape dies are from Spellbinders. This is a 2-pack of halo lights. I used the other one. This is what a halo light looks like. It's a 2-inch circle with 4 LEDs and a switch and a battery. It's super simple. I'm going to adhere it inside of my card panel. I'm using Scotch foam tape doubled up. I just fold it on itself and then cut it. This is really funny because you can see my fingerprints from the ink blending. I had pink fingerprints. Anyway, you just use adhesive to glue it down in place. And for this card, make sure that you box in the lights so that you can make sure to concentrate the lights directly in the holes and you don't have light escaping out of the side, if that makes sense. I'm using some masking tape to block off all the rest of the sentiment. I just want this sentiment to say birthday, and I'm stamping it right on my little black landscape hill, and I'm just heat embossing the birthday. The rest of the sentiment means nothing to me. The lanterns and the sentiment were both cut from a So Saffron cardstock from Stampin' Up. And then this is a coordinating embossing powder also from Stampin' Up. I believe it's crushed curry. It doesn't matter. It's not available anymore. And then I used the same foam tape to adhere my base and some foam squares to adhere the lanterns to give this card some dimension. And then I'm using liquid adhesive on the word die and sticking that right to the top of that hill. Now, I did like the previous card a little better because it ended up where the switch was right underneath the happy birthday, and it was super convenient. So I don't really mind that the switch is a little off-centered, but it's just something to think about when you're making this card. I could do this all day. I absolutely love the card. Check out the free SVG that's over on my blog. Check out Pear Blossom Press, the easy lights, the halo lights. They're all fabulous. And I hope you like my card. Until next time. It's getting kind of dark in here. How about now? Find Pear Blossom Press on social media. I absolutely love interacting with you in the comments. So drop me a hi, say how you doing, what's up, whatever. That's it.